Okay, good deal. So here we are. Okay. Now I want to show you too that I think put these two up here. Okay, little folders for me. The screen recorder, I'm going to put that in the description. Little link to it. Nice little Py script that seems to work pretty good so far. Runs in MKV, but yeah. So what I should have said in the last tutorial, if you have not already done sudo apt-get update, okay, you might want to do that now. Okay. That's the only thing I did do before I made this video, and I want to try to make this as authentic as possible from the ground up, so we can both have the sort of same results. So if you have not done sudo apt-get update on your system, might be a good idea to do that. Pause the video, come back. Okay. All right. So we're going to be here for a while. This build's going to be about 18 hours ish long if you don't like to sleep. Okay, it's a very, very big build. But that's with 2 gigs of RAM, so if you have 4 gigs, hey, maybe it'll be shorter. But, that's what it is. So, we're going to be here. Let's customize our settings here, and let's make it a little bit more cozy. Because the only way to actually have a successful build is not to get frustrated about stuff like toolbars and all that stuff that just gets in your way and doesn't seem to be acting right. So let's kind of spark it up a little bit. Let's go to terminal. I'm going to say something like edit. I'm going to change my profile. I don't want to say, don't want to use that font. I'm going to back my font down to 10. Okay, then I'm going to plus up. And the reason is I've experienced errors before with monospaced. I don't want monospaced. I've experienced errors before with the big font. Okay, and I'll tell you about that in a couple of seconds after I figure out what I'm doing here. Big mono bold. That works. Okay. And let's change the colors to, I don't want to use a default scheme. Text color, let's make it something like this. And my background color, we're going to make something like this. See how that looks. Okay, that looks okay. Scrolling. Check this line here, unlimited scrolling, okay? You want to be able to look at output if you get any problems. You want to be able to go up and look, and that might be beyond 512 lines, okay? So you want to do that. Okay, good deal, super. All right, make this big, and we'll say plus. There we go. Okay, now before in other builds, I wanted to have a nice font, say something this big here, okay? So everybody could see it, and that there would be it would be a little easier to see. But I experienced weird errors when trying to build, especially through SSH. Stuff that just would drop out. I would get packaged when I was doing, say, my bin utils or whatever like that. I would just get weird errors, and they were very unexplainable to me. And what leads me to believe it could have been, for one, my font size was, when I did my kernel, I had a big font on, and I was not allowed to do my kernel because it said that I needed a terminal that was X amount wide, and it was just really weird. So could be a lot of superstition, but keep your font nice and tight. Okay. So here we are. Go into desktop, and what we want to do is let's get some tools that will help us build this a little easier. Little things. Like, say we're going to need a web browser and all that stuff like that. The first thing I want to do is I want to say sudo apt-get install Aptitude is a package manager that allows you to, it gives more functionality, okay? The apt-get is okay, but you had a sudo apt-get, I don't know, whatever. But with Aptitude, you can actually search, okay? So you could kind of be right and kind of be wrong. As you know, all these packages and blah, 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 not the LFS packages, but just packages in general, they could have some funky names that you would never even assume would be a part of what you wanted it to do. But with Aptitude, it allows you to have search functionality, okay? So you can actually search for that specific package and stuff like that, okay? So if we said something like aptitude sudo aptitude search, you could say search for eSpeak is going to be our search. Okay, and you can see here that there's all kind of stuff for eSpeak, all kind of stuff. Okay, and you never knew that with apt-get, but with aptitude, it's a little better. Okay, and you could probably say something too, like you could just type in speak, see what will happen now. Okay, so the eSpeak's probably in here somewhere. Ebook, eSpeak, see? You know what I mean? So that's a good thing to have. Okay? Okay. So that's done. Let's say we want to get sudo aptitude install screen. Okay, if you're a Tmux fan, use Tmux, but screen seems to work okay for me. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to be reading from the documentation and building on the same screen, okay, one over the other. Now I had contemplated not doing that, but I realized if we say something like screen, say screen, Control A, Shift S, Control A, Control Tab, Control A, Control C. You'll hear me call out click. God, you'll hear me call out key clicks quite often. Okay, and I'll try to tone it down, but you'll hear me say that. So we're going to be down here installing, okay, and we can be up here building, okay. Now I had reservations about this. I thought maybe it would look too clunky and ugly and blah blah blah, but I did some test videos on it, and it didn't look too bad. And it actually helps you and saves you from eye shifting a lot. Okay, so normally I would have something I could read off of. Okay, say a monitor or whatever like that, on another computer or something. Normally I would have the monitor I could read off of, and I could install over here. But I found myself that I was always eye shifting. Okay, and with it right over top of each other, you can kind of look at it. It seems to be a little easier, faster. Okay, so that's a good deal. And two, we're going to get some web browsers. We got to say sudo aptitude install. I want to get links with an I. Okay. Links is our graphical web browser. Okay. And we can use that to go get some documentation stuff, blah blah blah, browse the internet. But it's just straight graphical. Alright, we could use Firefox to go get everything, but Firefox just doesn't have the, I want to say, readiness or anything like that. It doesn't, not for this type of project anyway. It just doesn't have the you know what I mean. Okay, and let's also get links. Okay, this way we could call up with links with an I. You can call straight from where we would be. Okay, it should be in the session here. Say we would have one window to top the other in screen. You can just call it right from there. Firefox will just block out the whole screen, and ads and everything else like that. So not gonna worry about that. Links with a Y. I don't like using this as a web browser, okay, but I do like using this to view documentation. Okay, you can view documentation with it, and the good thing about this is that it has it has a lot it has colors. Okay, so it has colors. Links too, I think, has colors, but links with a Y has colors that kind of pop out at you, and I'll show you about that later. That will actually help us out. Okay, so we got that, and let's get sudo aptitude install. I'm gonna get a lot of flack on this. Erisi. You guys are like, oh, this is wrong. It's backwards. It's not Erisi. But I can't say Ursi. Something just does not sound right about Ursi. It doesn't sound human. It sounds like it just doesn't sound right. So I reject the standard name and call it my own. All right, but Erisi is yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Erisi is an IRC client. Okay, now this is optional. Okay, but the thing is, for one, these builds are going to be very long, and you can chat with your IRC friends if you have IRC, or if you're familiar with IRC. Okay, and two, if you get bogged down in some trouble, okay, we can go ahead and call up RISI right away, okay, and jump into where we can go get some help, whether it be a LFS support room or whatever like that. Okay, okay, that's over. All right, so here's links. Okay, but we have to type in www.google all the time. Okay, and this is our web browser. So, as you've seen in the last one, really don't like typing in whole URLs all the time. Okay, it's a tool, yes, but we can make this a little bit better, right? So let's go ahead and let's customize this for us for ease of use. And we'll say, I want to make a directory. I'm going to call it let me say temp progs. I don't want to name it temp like that. Let's name it that. Progs. Okay? Good deal. cd into temp progs. Right? And let's set up a couple scripts here that'll help us out, because we're going to be needing this stuff to work, like I said, from where we're going to be, which is in the screen. Okay? So I say Control A, Shift S, Control A, Control Tab, puts me in the bottom pane. Control A, Control C, creates a new section. Okay. So say if we had, some stuff up here, blah blah blah, we're reading, okay, and we wanted to jump right ahead and call up links. Well, every time we'd have to say links www.google.com. Okay, and it would work, but it's just a pain in the butt, right? So let's go ahead and make ourselves a little script. So I'm gonna say Control A, Control X, and that pops me out to another window. My other window is still behind me, okay, but this just pops it out so I can make a full screen. And I'm gonna say something like vimtiny. Let's call it links start. Okay, little stupid script. I'll say bin bash, and let's say start, just to make it look kind of neat. And it's always a good practice to do that sort of kind of stuff. And let's say browser is going to equal, I want links to be my browser, and let's say $browser www.google.com. Okay, shore this up, and we'll say right click. Okay, I should make it executable. Sudo change mod executable link start. Okay, good deal. So like I said, now we have it. All we have to do is just run it and bang. Okay, it's functional, very functional. Okay, but not as functional as it could be. Okay, let's say sudo hard. We're going to go make a directory and bin, user bin. We're going to make a directory in here called port me. Okay. Okay. Now, the problem is with RISI here links here, is that you have to be in this location to run it. Okay? Well, that's okay. It's a little shortcut, but we can make the tool better. You can see as we're up here, there's nothing up here. Okay? Quote 2, when you see my screen flash like that, I'm tab switching. Okay? We'll talk about that in a second. But you have to be in that directory to run it. Well, it's not very useful. We might as well, if we were somewhere else, we might as well just type in links to Google. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and put this link here, link start, I'm going to put that up in the user bin port me directory. Okay? So let's say copy verbose this to user bin port me, and I want to cd into user bin port me. Okay, so you see it's up here. Now the reason why I created a port me directory is the user bin files are something you don't want to mess up. Okay, and if I just put that inside of there, well, I'd have a serious problem. If say I got the name wrong or something, or I tried to remove it and whatever. But if you render anything missing in your bin files, your operating system may not run or run correctly. Okay, so let's create a link. Okay, we'll do full path names. So we'll say link symbolic verbose user bin port me link start. Let's link that to user bin. That's it. Okay. Now if I say exit and I come here, you notice here I'm nowhere around my script I made. Okay. And I would say something like links. I could hit tab, links underscore tab start. Okay. So from wherever I am on the operating system, okay, I can go ahead and I can call that up, and it's a little shortcut, nice little program, and it's at the ready. Okay. So that's good. Temp procs. Another one I'm going to do is, let's say, Arisi. Okay. And with Arisi, if we need help, this is a good idea to have it. If you just want to chat while you're watching some code, downtime or anything like that, if you have downtime, Arisi's good. But Arisi takes a lot of stuff to get going. So we say server, we have to type in server. Alright, and we have to specify our server down here, and then we'd have to type in our nickname, okay, and if we have a password, we have to type in that password, blah blah blah. So, I'm not going to do all that. Let's make it a little easier for us. And we'll say vim tiny, we'll call this one Arisi start. Okay, and let's set it up. Big bash. Caps, no caps. Okay, and let's say start. Let's call it band. So, let's say Arisi, and we can set up switches in it. Okay, so we can say connect. The server we want to connect to is irc.freenode. You can pick your own server, but this is what I'm going to use. Freenode.org. There's net. I think it's net. Freenode.net. I think so. And let's say we can specify a nickname we want to use, which would be N, and I'm going to be lazy dog. I don't know. If my name was really Lazy Dogbone, I would say W for password. I can put in my password here. Okay, but that's that. So let's say right quit it. Okay, and let's make it change mod plus executable Arisi start sudo. Okay, so now when we run Arisi, okay, you can see here this takes a few seconds, but it found my host name. Okay, down here notified I'm Lazy Dogbone. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so I'm here. So instead of going ahead and typing everything like that when you pop open, you know, if you need help or if you just want to chat or whatever like that, instead of doing all of that, it's kind of beneficial to put it in a little script so you can just not have to type all these things in while you're trying to get up and go. Okay? Okay. So I also too, let me go sudo hard and say copy verbose. I want to copy Arisi to user bin. Port me, that way I can use it from anywhere. Okay? Let me cd up into user bin. Port me. Okay? Am I here? Yeah, I'm here. And I want to create a link from a full paths. User bin port me. Arisi star. I want to link that to user bin. Okay. So there we go. Now if you see, we can go back up and out. Our program is not around us anywhere. Okay. And we can just say Arisi start. Okay. And we can call it up from anywhere on our operating system. And that's going to have a major role to play when we really can't move around too much. Okay? Okay. So, good deal. What else is there to talk about? Not much. Not much. So in this one, I'm going to cut this video now, and in the next one we'll pick it up, and we'll go get some documentation, we'll see exactly what we need to do, and we'll go from there. Alright, so, have a great day.